I'm Brad Stenberg with 2S Auctioneers. I have been an auctioneer for the past 35 years. I started in the early 80s selling farm equipment, horses, cattle, miscellaneous, just about anything you can name. Auctioneers is one of the oldest professions there ever was for price discovery and finding the value of items is things that went up for auction, and people would bid on them to determine the highest price that anybody would want to pay for a piece. One of the cool things is auctioneers in North America are called colonels. Colonel. The auctioneer will have COL behind his name for a colonel, and the reason this is that back in the Civil War days, and before that, when the war was over, and they had to disperse of all the horses that were left, the colonel of the army was given the task of dispersing of the horses and any other materials that were no longer needed for the war. So the colonel would hold an auction and sell off the remaining horses to the local farmers and whoever wanted to buy them. So that's how the name colonel became, being an auctioneer. Oh, I was my father went to auction sales all the time, bought and sold farm equipment, did lots of things like that, and I kind of grew up at the auction and always was really intrigued by the sound of the auctioneer and what they could do with the different auctioneers. So mostly you learn how to count and being able to build yourself a rhythm to learn the auction chant, and everybody's kind of unique and very, very different about how they do the auction chant. And the most important part of this job is making sure to get the most money you can for the person that's selling it. It's a competition between the people who want to buy it. So the more competition you have, the higher the value will go as to what people want to pay for the item. I sell lots of cattle, cattle and horses, farm equipment, miscellaneous items, shop tools. We sell real estate by auction, cars and trucks. Virtually anything that's saleable can be sold by auction, and most of it is at one time or the other. We sell lots of interesting stuff, lots of really interesting antiques and vintage tractors, vintage cars, antiques like cast iron case eagle we sold a couple years ago for close to $20,000. Over the years we've sold lots of really cool collections of stuff. It's a lot of fun to be an auctioneer, and you get to meet so many interesting people, both good and bad, and people from all over the world. So now, as I mentioned before, with the internet and the online thing, it opens up your business to the world. In my auction career, I've been very fortunate to be, especially in the cattle business and being part of the Livestock Markets Association, to have traveled across Canada to not only competing but judging in auctioneer competitions. And you can go on YouTube and you can find some of the coolest auctioneers in the world that sell. And the big thing about it with all that stuff is we met so many incredible people from all over the world. The auction contest world is a lot like the rodeo world, as suddenly you develop friendships with people in Texas and Ontario and all over the country. Otherwise you would never know that they existed. The thing all the time with our auction business, it's all family orientated. Everybody that works for us are pretty near all family. It's provided a way for us to work together, have fun together, and generate some income for the entire family. My favorite part of the job is probably seeing all the cool stuff we get to sell. Especially now with what we do with all the really neat antiques and stuff, in the time of the generational changeover there is now, we're finding these incredible collections that people put together through the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and now they need to go somewhere else, and we're seeing some really neat stuff that really interests someone like me in this, and I love meeting the different people.